My biggest concern for tailoring was that the course that I'm designing, I haven't got anybody specific to deliver it to yet. So the idea of being able to tailor it was quite uncomfortable to start off with, because I didn't know who I was tailoring it to. But the exercise that we did with the pyramid made it a lot more comfortable to look at, made more sense that I can get a generic base with the structure and everything else that I need on there. And then once I know who I'm delivering it to further up the pyramid, I can adapt it to the people that I am. So as long as I've got that generic base, then I'm sorted. So that for me was a really big thing, because I struggled with that, not knowing who I was going to be delivering to and how I could tailor it.
So my biggest takeaway in Tailored was, beforehand I'd done so much training which has been booked for me, and so I'd never ever had the ability to be able to talk to people beforehand, and I didn't really think about how important it was. But the way this has been put together is really quite simplistic when you can read it and you think about it and digest it, and so it's given me the confidence to be able to take the courses which I want to do to a newer level, and to show a higher amount of professionalism and concern with the groups I've got in mind. So for me, it's been quite an interesting journey, but one which has been so beneficial for me.
For me, my biggest takeaway from Tailored is the model of the pyramid. Because same as Sarah, the training that I'm designing is not specific to a particular team, and I was quite worried about that. But then I realized that it's really important to have a skeleton course, but then the main tailoring part will come on the top of the pyramid, when it's about the specific of the professionals I'm going to deliver to. And I realized in the process of working on it that is crucial to know any potential blockages and barriers on the subject that the team might have, any unconscious biases, so it can be tailored in such a way that you can reframe that with the training.
I think my main takeaway from the tailoring reflections is that I think that it's just reminding me that you're constantly tailoring from the very beginning of your session, from the minute that your delegates arrive, whether that's before COVID in a room or on the like on the internet now, and that way then that you're just constantly re-evaluating your course material to ensure that everyone who's attending that session will go away with enough knowledge and understanding about what that session is about, because you're constantly working out where people are at and what sort of experience they've had as well previously. So it's not just doing it for the session, it's doing it, it's not just to get to the session to deliver it, it's to do it from the beginning to the end of that session to make sure everyone gets something out of it as well.
I also struggled a little bit with thinking that tailoring was all about knowing your organisation and having an understanding of who you're delivering to at the point that you're creating the course. I deliver multi-agency training, fortunately in one area, so I was able to focus on a local picture as being the main base of my tailoring. So stick with the legislation, but the local policies, the local governance, the local procedures to help me do the pre-tailoring. But also the more I read about tailoring, the more I realised that you don't actually ever stop tailoring, because once you've prepared your course, you think you know what you're doing, you then get your delegate list, you might tweak a little bit then depending on who's on the list, and then as the course starts running and people start responding in different ways, you then adapt and tailor what you're delivering all the way through to different responses from your audience. So yes, it starts huge at the bottom with preparing your course, but it's there all the way along. And I've learned a lot about different types of tailoring. It isn't just about finding out who you're delivering to and sticking in a bit of policy and procedures. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I guess my part of my learning really is it's very, very similar to Sally and to Claire actually, is that but whether we're delivering to single agency, single sector, or multi-agency, multi-sector, is that tailoring can be done and can be done well. And so yeah, and also as well as just the different layers that there are in tailoring, and just the fact that it doesn't all have to be there all at once, and that just kind of it can build and develop, and as we learn and develop the course and deliver, and that responding on the day as well, and you know, that being sensitive to you know, what people may be saying, you know, body language, you know, comments, questions, etc., and having that mindset of being meaningful in our responses and interactions with the delegates as well. But I guess that's one of the things for tailoring would be it's actually about making it meaningful, and unless the training is meaningful, then you know, for some people it's not going to, you know, make a difference really. It needs to be meaningful to have that impact really, I think. So yeah, so that would be where I'm at with that, I think.